Welcome back to my closet. I had to do a quick update because we did Christmas from my closet this year and we had a bunch of stuff in here and I needed to reset it, which can be so fast once you've done it the first time. Okay, I started on this top shelf, and if you'll remember, I used to keep a stash of candy over here. Well, for Christmas, I got a huge bag of candy. And I went through that and I just kind of did this process of which one should I keep in my closet. And I went and put some out on the table for my family to enjoy that I wasn't planning on eating, but there were some things I planned on just keeping up in here. And I started having a bunch of thoughts coming to my mind about what I should put in my closet. And I ended up remembering the question for the box method system. And I had started out asking the question, is this an 8, 9, or 10 out of 10? Should I be keeping this in here? And I was like, yeah, this passes, yeah. But once I asked the question, what would happen if this disappeared? I got rid of a bunch more. It's like, oh, I wouldn't even notice. These are, like, this isn't my favorite candy of all, the green, but I do love Linder. But what would happen if they disappeared? I would go look, I actually like those. But the rest of it, I pulled it out. So that surprised me what happened when I asked what would happen if this disappeared. So I dropped down to my clothes and I got started. And I started with some of my favorite items, and I was like, oh, this, like, it's not my favorite color, but man, when it's cold, this thing is the best. It's so fantastic. I'm using this right now, maternity. It fits me so well. I love just throwing it on for church. And I just kept going, and I got to some other items that I was like, I like these, and I ended up being surprised when I asked what would happen if this disappeared. And for some items, I didn't feel anything. I just felt a blank nothing. And it's like, but I love that. I still get attached to some things. This is so cozy. This is so soft. I love how soft it is. And I actually do feel sentimental toward it for whatever reason. I like this. It's not like it's not out of price or anything. The reason is simply that I like this. But after going through these things that are like, oh, I love this. And what would happen if it disappeared, and the reactions I felt and how important, like how helpful these are to me, how good I feel in this clothing, I got to something like this and it was like, I didn't really feel anything. Like, what would happen if it disappeared? Like, really nothing. And I kept going through and I was amazed at how much, like, even this keeps me so warm. So there's reasons I can give you reasons I keep all these, but they actually, what would happen if they disappeared? I get a very clear reaction of how important these things are to me. But even though this keeps me super warm, my reaction is like, I think I better find a different one I like more. I think maybe the pattern's too big. You don't have to know why. This deodorant. I love this deodorant stone. My child broke it. I've kind of been using it, and so it was a no-brainer just to keep it and just keep using it. But I asked that question, what would happen if it disappeared? I wouldn't buy this again. I would actually look for a better deodorant that I like. So it's worked for me fantastic at one part of my life a few years ago. I have not been successful at enjoying it and using it consistently since. I tend to go back to a stick deodorant. So just what would happen if it disappeared? Now the rest of this, I've noticed that these have very sleek, bold colors. And these are kind of more blended looking. But I've had a hard time getting rid of this. I've looked so good in it before. So what would happen if it disappeared? And I just got that kind of blank feeling. I don't actually feel the same way as these things that I feel really good in. And I really love, oh man, I love so much about this. I love this, covered in lint. I love this. I love this, the neck, the collar, just cozy, so cozy. I love wearing it, but when I got to it, as I'm going through my lineup over here and I got to it, what would happen if this disappeared? No gut reaction, nothing. Like, it was like, like seriously? But the thing is, going through these, I'm really feeling how each of them feels to me. It's like tasting food. You can't really deny when you taste food, but it's easy for us to deny what we see because other people can, you know, we've been influenced over the years or whatever. We can deny what we see and how we feel about what we see. Just remember, it's like food. Because when I tasted that, like, I really like so much about it, but it was like, even this one, I changed the color of it, and I look really nice in it. But when I got that gut reaction, it was like, isn't that bizarre? This one, oh, I liked wearing this. This was fun to wear for a family thing. But that same thing, when I got to it, was like, eh. So here's the thing that I'm going to, oh, even this one, I will wear this. I have no problems wearing this at all. But I will choose other things first, and usually I'll run out of other laundry first. I prefer this neckline and that over this. This is from Walmart, like the $5 ones. And then I just barely bought this. So cozy. I call it my abominable snowman pants. And I've worn them twice. Like I literally got it the week before Christmas, so it's like a week and a half ago. So, and you know what I'm going to do? This is what I have to do. You need to find out what's best for you to do for yourself. I have seen people, so I'm gonna make some people be like, why would you do that? And other people, I'm gonna give you permission. Because this has been a major game changer. I have not allowed myself to put things in a box to set aside for a few months of my own stuff for a time now. And you know what has happened? Every time I've gone through my closet and I'm like, oh, I'm not sure I like that, it ends up back in my closet because I have these feelings for them. These do spark, like, I feel joy when I see them. I like these. I like this, and I like this. Like, well, maybe I like how I look in that. There's just so much I like about all of these. I like them. But they're just, when I ask what would happen if it disappeared and get my body's reaction, and it's like your taste buds. When I actually taste it, these aren't my favorite. And that's why I love the question, what would happen if it disappeared? Letting myself see how I feel about each item. Because each item, does this spark joy? Like, I think different people need different questions. For me, what would happen if this disappeared? Just putting myself there? Eh. So I am not getting rid of any of this because I know myself well enough. I've done this for years. I have watched my process for years, and as soon as I eliminate the experience of letting it sit in a box for a few months until I'm ready to get rid of every last item, when I eliminate that step for myself, everything ends up back in my closet. If I make it just clean cut, okay, I'm getting rid of this, it ends up back in my closet. But when I add this step, I see how I do without it, and I usually do really well without it, and then I am able to, when I get back to these, become less attached to them and just really see things as they really are. And I have literally gotten rid of so many clothing items by doing this. I've already done this in the past. It's worked really well for me. It usually takes a few months, sometimes longer. I had an orange cardigan that I loved for Halloween, and I kept it for such a long time and finally put it in a box. And months later, I pulled it out and could immediately see I did not like the shape. But I'd actually pulled it out a couple of times before that and was unable to get rid of it. But that's just how I do it. It just takes me time. So you might not need time. I do. And hopefully there are other people who are watching who need that time, who can get this permission to, if you go through your clothes and you find something, you're like, wait, I just bought this. Wait, I still like this, but it's not passing the question. Like, what would happen if this disappeared? I'm not really feeling anything really. So if this permission helps you, maybe instead of just, I'm getting rid of it. I know so many people who could just get rid of it. They're detached, they're good to go. Doesn't matter, they can go shopping, whatever. But for others of us who need this, go ahead, put it in a box and don't put any deadline on it. I wouldn't even say a year, because for me, I don't want to keep anything that's not helping me. I don't want to keep junk around my house, so I will go through regularly enough and look at it. And if I'm ready, I will let it go. So just whatever suits you. If you know you need to get rid of it right now, go for it. If you've struggled and you feel that having a box set aside like this will help you, try it out. So there you go. Hopefully that permission was helpful to you. I've got a full box here, and the more I go through this process, the more I learn, and it's easier it is to get rid of this. But for me right now, my focus is on my closet and making it the best space for me, and my clothing options, and just making it a support for me. All of these make me feel really good. I can throw them on. I like all of this, and just pulling out the extra things that I like that are nice, But do you want your life, this is how I talk to my kids. The things that you keep, if you're keeping mostly things that are fine, or, oh, I kind of like that, that's how your life is going to be. You're going to kind of like your life. But if you're keeping things that are valuable like this, you are much more likely to take good care of it, to clean it, to put it away nicely, versus having a lot of stuff that's just all over your house that's, oh, it's nice. We don't need nice stuff. I mean, if you don't have anything, go ahead and go on nice until you can get better. But in our society today, most of this is from the thrift store. I don't feel bad if you do not shop thrift stores. But in our society today, I feel like if you really want to, you can have nice things. Almost all of this was under $10. Most of it was under $5. So anyway, another reason is because I'm looking at this and I'm realizing I don't need to go shopping. I have 2 skirts, so I have stuff to wear to church. I have 2 sweaters. There's probably more in the laundry. I have t-shirts. I have pants. So right now, I actually don't need to go shopping, and I can wear my favorite things. But getting this stuff out is really good, because now when I go shopping, I'm not like, oh, I've got a lot of clothes at home. I don't. Anyway, I hope this helped you, and I hope this gave you permission, and just go ahead and try it. Like I said, I'll go through really quick with you. What would happen if this disappeared? This is so important to me. I would not let it disappear, and if it did, I would be very sad, and I would try to find something else as warm and cozy and big. And I can replace this one day, but for now, this serves me so well. What would happen if this disappeared? I would be sad and try to look for a replacement. Now, over here, what would happen if this disappeared? I would wear something else. Like, I like it, but it just doesn't feel, the thing is, I'm not using words in my brain when I describe this. What's really happening in my brain is I'm feeling how I feel about this. And I'm tasting it, like, this is so good to me. This is so beneficial to me. This is so good to me, so beneficial. Oh man, I'm tasting all of it. What would happen if this disappeared? Maybe a different question would work better for you. And then I come to this one, and no words, I like this, but it doesn't taste the same. So it's like having mediocre ice cream. It's still ice cream, and some people will still eat ice cream. I'll still eat ice cream even if it's not the very best. But what do we want to fill our closets with? So I don't want to make myself eat this if I have the best ice cream available to me. Okay, I hope you have a wonderful day. And that's all. I gotta put in another note on guilt. I was just barely starting to feel, oh, I should be stronger. I should just get rid of this. I should. Whoa, shoulds are no good for progress. You will never make progress off of shoulds. So I'm able to recognize, and I'm pausing, and I'm choosing to feel good about this because I made some serious progress. And I can use thoughts instead that I'm knowing when to get rid of stuff, and it is easy, and I'm confidently getting rid of everything I need to at the right time. So just be kind to yourself. Don't use words like, oh, I should get rid of that. I shouldn't, that's clutter I'm keeping. That's going to be really easy to do, but what that ends up, just see how you respond. Over the past few years since I've started this, when I let the guilt kick in, it ends up, I keep so much more stuff. I end up keeping so much more. But when I am honoring and kind to myself and let myself do the things that support me, like sticking stuff in a box and setting it aside, I'm going to actually pull this out because it is really cold and other people in my family might want to use it. But when we give ourselves permission to do the things that support us, even though it doesn't look like other people, this helps me get rid of so much more. So thinking honoring thoughts and acknowledging I do take longer to let go of things, but it's a part of my process that supports me and helps me to be confident as I buy more clothing and as I get rid of clothing. Because if I'm keeping all this stuff, like this, then next time I'm in the store and find something similar, it's going to be really easy just to buy it. I already have something like this. But if I don't in my closet have anything like these in it, and I just make sure everything, like what would happen if it disappeared, if it's just like, oh, if it's all this it all tastes really good to me, then I'm not going to buy anything that is lower on, it's not as amazing to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to stop buying stuff like this. If I pull it out of my closet and it's no longer there and I can have a break from it, it's going to change how I shop, and it's going to change what I keep in my closet. And I have noticed this fold over into other areas of my life. What I'm choosing to eat, the shows I'm choosing to watch, the music I'm choosing to listen to. So this can have a powerful impact on your life if you're willing to go through and pull out the things that aren't supporting you. So I really hope this video helped and had fun recording it. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments. I would love to answer any of your questions, and I hope you have a beautiful day.